While we don't have sufficient evidence to mount a legal challenge against the outcome of the elections, we are nonetheless deeply concerned at the extensive and I would say vulgar use of state resources to impact the outcome of the election.
Blessings, ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Isabel Rose. And in this one, major update in the court battle between the Commissioner of Police, Kevin Blake, and the chairman of the Police Officers Association, Mr. Wayne Cameron. Opposition leader Mark Golding gives his answer as to the magisterial recount in the Northern Trelawney and St. Catherine constituency, as well as Anju to be sworn in. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So now, a battle has been brewing stemming from reports made against the Commissioner of Police, Kevin Blake, to the Police Services Commission from a Wayne Cameron, who is the chairman of the Police Officers Association, to which Kevin Blake basically overstepping his bound and claiming that the POA has been vacant, to which he can't do that because it is the police officers who basically voted for Mr. Cameron to hold that position. And so following that, Mr. Cameron quoted, "It is clear that we'll have to test the legality of the commissioner's actions because from what we know, he would have overstepped his bounds. I am a man of principle and I respect my office and my organization too much. I was never involved in any election campaign." So based on that last sentence in this statement, it basically pointed to some form of politics being played out here. It seems as if Mr. Cameron is being victimized due to, politics. But then he made it very clear in this statement. And so he basically tested or challenged the legality of the commissioner's move to remove him as the chairman of the POA. And a formal court order basically came out yesterday, basically granting an injunction blocking the commissioner from removing Mr. Cameron as the POA chair. And according to court documents, it is hereby ordered that an interim injunction is granted restraining the respondent, who is the Commissioner Kevin Blake, whether acting in concert by himself, his servants and or agents, or otherwise, howsoever, from directing or causing to be convened any meeting of the Police Officers Association for the purpose of removing the applicant, who is Wayne Cameron, as chair and appointing a chairman pro tem or otherwise, pending the determination of the inter partes hearing for injunction or further orders of the court. Number 2, a stay of implementation of the decision of the respondent as indicated in the Constabulary Communications Network, release dated September 8, 2025, pending the determination of the interim parties hearing for judicial review or further orders of the court. 3, matter affixed for inter partes hearing for interim relief and leave to apply for judicial review on October 8, 2025 at 10 a.m. for 2 hours by video conference or as soon as counsel may be heard. 4, costs to be costs in the application. And 5, applicant's attorney at law to prepare, file, and serve the order on the respondent and the executive of the Police Officers Association service by electronic means is permitted. So what this basically is saying, that an injunction has been granted to block the Commissioner Kevin Blake from removing Mr. Wayne Cameron. No authoritarian, no dictatorship, no abuse of power around here. We all are governed by the Constitution, and if it's not in your jurisdiction to have moved this chairman, then the court have spoken, and I hope that he live and abide by the orders of the court. The Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions also raised alarm over the actions of the commissioner against the POA chairman and says that they are urging the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to intervene in order to uphold both national and international labour standards. Others are also calling for transparency on the matter and wishes to hear from a Kevin Blake as to why he took such a stance and what is really behind him taking such drastic actions against the POA chairman. In this segment, the People's National Party weighed in on the whole election day proceedings and basically gave their response as to some contemplation as it relates to magisterial recounts for 2 constituencies. And so you'll hear from opposition leader Mark Golding as it relates to that.
Having waited for the final count to establish the official results in each constituency, including ascertaining the number of spoiled or rejected ballots and how these were apportioned between the 2 parties, the advice that we have received from our lawyers who attended the final counts is that a magisterial recount is unlikely to change the outcome in any of the seats. In the case of West Central St. Andrew, however, the nature of the irregularities which took place there is being carefully scrutinized in anticipation of a case being brought to the constituted authority for appropriate relief. I won't be able to answer more questions on that today. That matter is with our lawyers. While we don't have sufficient evidence to mount a legal challenge against the outcome of the elections, we are nonetheless deeply concerned at the extensive and I would say vulgar use of state resources to impact the outcome of the election over the campaign period. Specifically, the massive political advertising paid for by ministries, departments, and agencies of government during and up to election day at the cost of taxpayers to benefit the incumbent JLP administration is problematic. And we are going to have to, as a nation, look at the way in which public resources are used in support of political achievements in the election period. We're also concerned about the unprecedented scale of distribution of benefits, black tanks, fertilizer, building materials, cash, by both the state and the Jamaica Labour Party. And in some cases, it's very different to distinguish one from the other. And we have received numerous reports of widespread suppression of PNP votes across marginal constituencies, with reports of very large sums of money being paid. And this strategy was enhanced by the timing of the elections and related giveaways in the back-to-school week, when parents in low-income families in particular are most vulnerable and could be financially induced to prioritize loyalty to their families and their children over party loyalties.
So basically what he's saying there in a nutshell, we know that for one of those seats, they had some 500 and odd spoiled ballots, and for the other, they had some 900 spoiled ballots. So he's basically saying the ballots that were spoiled would have been split in half. Then say half goes to PNP, half goes to JLP. It still wouldn't make a difference. It still wouldn't make the People's National Party overturn those seats. So it makes no sense to go and get a magisterial recount for those 2 seats. Nevertheless, Following all that transpired on election day, the EOJ has put out the final count for the win for the Jamaica Labour Party, 35 seats, and the People's National Party, 28 seats. There's also been a formal meeting between Anju Oates and the Governor General, Patrick Allen, and Anju Oates will be sworn in next Tuesday, September the 16th. With that being said, ABR family and viewers, what says you about everything that unfolded in this video? Will the Commissioner of Police, Kevin Blake, come out with an explanation or with some form of transparency? We've seen at one point him did run out strong upon the Jamaicans for justice. And so do you believe that he will come out on this matter? What says you? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 50k. Help me to get there. Get this video to at least 8,000 likes. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself.